I'm a dentist, I'm not a doctor. That's something that as a dentist I've never had any training for and never had any experience in.
To be redeployed means that I've been taken out of the area that I normally work in and I've been sent off to another area. I specialise in looking after children in orthopaedics. During the pandemic, I've been moved into adult intensive care, looking after patients that are seriously unwell with COVID. The reason that myself and a lot of staff are being redeployed is to help care for the massive influx of COVID patients that we've seen come into hospital over the last year or so.
I was contacted by Health Education to ask if I'd be happy to be redeployed. I never doubted that I would volunteer, but it didn't come without a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety about what I would be facing. We wore aprons, another apron, a mask, visors, goggles, hairnets, about 3 pairs of gloves. It was crazy. We were boiling in these suits. By the end of it, I was exhausted, dehydrated. It was really difficult. I really did feel like I was really making a difference on the front line, doing what I could do to help. But at the same time, I felt really helpless. There was one patient, he came off his ventilator and he did in the end survive. He was just so scared. He said he hated all the tubes, he hated the lack of independence and freedom. He was awake, but he said that part of him wished he wasn't awake because he didn't know how he was going to rebuild his life. We would see the impact that all of our hard work had had. You know, we'd kept someone alive.
It was very overwhelming when I first started. We're not used to moving like really big patients. Our patients are tiny normally. There was a lot of learning in a very quick, short amount of time. The shifts are physically and emotionally draining. You don't stop, you don't get to sit down and then to come home to an empty flat. It does affect your mood, it makes you sad. It's horrible when you see them at their sickest, but then when you get to see them literally like, you know that they are on their way to going home back to their family, like that's an amazing feeling to know that like a team effort has basically saved someone's life. My biggest fear with kind of the whole pandemic redeployment is not knowing when life is going to be normal again. Will my job ever be like it was before?
Sometimes you got to think about it positively. I've had vaccine number 1. The injection itself was fine, it just was a really achy arm. I've learned that I am able to do things that I didn't think I could, such as working in a completely different environment and doing things that aren't really in my trained skill set. I've learned that I am resilient.
This is #OurStories. What's yours?
Subscribe for more stories about people changing their world.